Another big round of applause. That's amazing. I love the verse. I may not be saying it right, but a melody of angels is just a simple, a song of angels is just a simple melody compared to the symphony you made of my life. Is that, wow, that's profound. Got to go home and think about that for a while. Our salutatorian this year is Mr. Nathanael Card. Mr. Card. So Nathanael is from Syracuse, New York. He was born and raised there, right? Syracuse, okay. He relocated to Texas after graduating from 8th grade. He's attended Summit all 4 years of high school. He has participated in band, drumline, theater, and basketball. He's passionate about writing, and you're currently writing a nonfiction book? Yes. A couple, all right. In his free time, he enjoys playing video games, and he will attend Belhaven University to study fine arts. Please welcome again, Nathanael.
Good evening, SCA senior class, SCA staff and faculty, friends, family, other people I know, and everyone else that I do not know. Now, for Mrs. Fraser and the seniors who were in my speech class, this is going to sound very similar to my Life in Texas speech that I made back in September. So, back in New York, Syracuse, where I spent 14 years of my life, things were pretty good. I've had my own system of life that I grew used to. Go to school, go to church, play video games, watch TV, and of course write and draw. There were points in that life that I did not enjoy, but I still loved it nonetheless, and I did not want it to change. However, it did anyway, because one day my parents told me and my sister that Dad lost his job and we had to move. In addition, my Uncle Phil died of cancer a month and a half before the move, despite my prayers to God that he would be physically healed. So as you can imagine, I was crushed to the point where I got very angry with God and I just wanted to walk out on him. However, it took time to realize that God was actually using this transition to help me improve. Now, first off, I originally thought that Texas was going to be this big desert wasteland full of cowboys and horses. Now, the only time I was in Texas was when I was 9 months old, so don't hate or blame me, okay? So, anyway, when we got to Texas, it was a lot greener than I thought. So it's not a desert after all. At least that's a good start. And we got cable, that makes it even better. But seriously, everyone, I was not exactly the bravest man alive when I first arrived. In fact, I'm still working on it. I was incredibly shy. I obviously did not know everyone in my new school or church, and I did not socialize very much. However, as time went on, I began to notice changes in my life. One such change includes how I was able to develop better relationships with my teachers. Just the SCA teachers were nice, funny, and just easy to talk and joke with. It's like they're the kind of people that you would go to a restaurant and hang with. Take Mr. Taylor, for example. I was able to talk to him about my problems and other Christ-related questions that I had, and he would try and answer them. So the second change sprung from the brand new opportunities set before me in my new school, such as new clubs, school dances, and even sports. I mean, back at my old school, there were not a lot of clubs like SCA, well, except for chess, but therefore, with the new clubs presented before me, such as robotics, Smash Brothers, and fishing. I became so interested and excited that I decided to give many of those clubs a try. And then came sports, which I did not express much interest in, except for a point in middle school. But however, I talked to Elisha Schnucker, who was a senior during my freshman year, and he encouraged me to try it since I was only in high school once. So therefore I decided to try it. And in addition to this, I also attended the homecoming and prom dances for all 4 years of high school. My first homecoming had a rocky start, but with each dance I attended, I became braver by asking more girls to dance and even trying to dance myself. I mean, my younger self would not have even considered trying to so much as shuffle while surrounded by many other people, and much less be brave enough to have someone else to dance with me. So anyway, the main point of mentioning all this is to explain how God used this new life in order to help me become braver than I used to be. However, this is not the only good thing that came out of this new life, because God also helped me to use this to grow closer to Him. I mean, back in Syracuse, I didn't really think about my relationship with Him or pray to Him much, since the only times I prayed to Him were like before meals and before bed. Other than that, it was just reading my Bible and then going about my day. Then all that changed when I moved here and saw a movie called War Room. In this movie, I noticed how one of the main characters used her closet as a special place of prayer in order to pray that God will move in her husband's heart to help him change. Therefore, this movie inspired me to transform the guest room closet upstairs into a war room as well. At first, I didn't use it as much, but I now try to come to God every day and tell Him how I feel, ask Him for help, ask about future actions, and also bring up requests. I also recently tried telling God parts of my day, and also listening to Him. So given from all this, I'd say that my relationship with God has improved much more than it did in Syracuse. However, despite this improved relationship, I still had troubles with letting go of the things that have caused me to worry and stress. I mean, almost every time that I was assigned a big project, test, or homework assignment, my first response was always to panic. And do you remember the part of the Bible where Jesus said how the teachers of the law loaded the people with heavy burdens that they could hardly carry? Well, that's how I felt. I mean, no offense, teachers, that's just how I felt at the time. Anyway, I kept worrying about how much stuff I still had to do and how I was ever going to get it all done. But you know where it got me? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So therefore I decided to go to God and tell Him how I felt, that I couldn't do this, and I just asked Him to help me get through these stressful moments. I also went to my parents and told them how I felt and looked to them for comfort and support whenever I needed it. Even my sister tried to make me smile and laugh whenever I didn't want to. Then, wouldn't you know it, God helped me get through all those stressful assignments just like I asked. So God showed me how I never needed to worry or stress about those things in the first place. Yet despite what I learned from that experience, will I still worry or stress about assignments in college? Most likely. However, we should all continue to work on that by always seeking God for help getting us through our moments of anxiety. I mean, we obviously can't get through it ourselves since we're only human and limited. So how about we go to someone who is all-powerful and unlimited, huh? Therefore, I leave y'all with these two special verses. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, Philippians 4:13. And therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 6:34. Thank you.
Awesome lesson, Nathanael. Thank you very much. Our valedictorian this year is Miss